There are two issues there. Intercepting all the rainfall that happens everywhere that you have got perennials, and escaping of groundwater which is below the root zone of those. In dissected landscape, we have got a groundwater flow away from the land, so we have got a greater drawdown, because when you are intercepting all of the rain, groundwater will flow away. But in landscapes that you have got like here, which is very flattish landscape and a stagnant aquifer, you intercept the rainfall and drop water level, but there is a limit that you can drop water level. Below that one it cannot go, because there is no hydraulic gradient here for groundwater to go away. Alright, so what you are doing, you are just intercepting and utilizing a bit of that groundwater, but the bulk of groundwater would stay there. And that is the situation in all of the flat landscape that you have got like here. But go to the areas that you have got defined depressions, you have got a local scale groundwater flow system. And over there you can make a bigger difference. The groundwater could drop to 5 meters, even we have seen 6 meters drop in those situations, okay? But in this kind of landscape, 2 meters and 2.5 meters, that is the maximum. But it's still a good thing to do, because when you do that here, when you grow tall with grass in this kind of landscape for 4 years or 5 years, it gives you a chance of growing crops 4 years after that. But if you go to dissected landscape, those areas that you have got a defined valley floor or so, then you can grow lucerne or tall wheat grass or so for 4 years, and then go back and crop that for 8 years or even 10 years. When groundwater level drops sufficient and you don't have indications of salinity on the surface, that is a possibility. So I would say that in some years time, if you don't get a very wet, because if you get very wet season, then cropping would probably be a bit of problem here. But if you get a normal season or a bit drier season, this area would become a good support, good cropping land for a period, for a 4-year period. But I would say that in this kind of landscape, growing crops for more than 4 years or so will not be very feasible, because within those few years you get a month of heavy rainfall and it builds water level coming close to the surface.
That's the problem we had before. This particular paddock, even though it was cropped in the past, it just got too wet to be economic. You'd lose too many crops to make it viable. When the pasture degenerates and the tall wheatgrass thins out, I might get maybe 1 or 2 crops on it, and then I'd probably put it back to perennials again.
Yeah. And you know, those 2 years that you crop it, it gives you opportunity to clean the paddock. So you will come back with a fresh paddock for growing perennials again.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. Perennials grow here, and then the paddock will be cleaned, and then you have a chance of cropping for a couple of years, or maybe a bit more if you get dry seasons.
Yes, brilliant.